Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be completing a paper 2 practical paper, May-June 2017 for the Information Technology AS course. So course code 9626. So we're going to be focusing today on a spreadsheet part of this exam paper. Okay, so let's go down to the next page. So we got some general information regarding the paper at the top. So regarding which company we're working for, so we're going to be carrying out some data handling and media tasks. We have to use the most efficient methods to solve each task. So during this exam, we're going to be completing the evidence document called Evidence RTF. So this may include print screens, it may include some answers to some questions. All files saved should include your center number and candidate number. So for example, evidence underscore center number and then your candidate number. Okay. The company is going to centralize the management of several European branches. You have been provided with the following files. So 1, 2 and 3. So let me just check my folder. Yep, so 1, 2 and 3 CS3 files, comma separated values, as you can see. If I go back, so details of staff in the branches are in this file here. So the staff in the branches are in file TTS merge. So let's have a look. TTS merge. So as you can see, we have staff, their first name or the given name, family name, email address, employment number, payroll number which is blank, pay scale, branch code, the branch they're working at, so we have a number of different branches as you can see, and then pay. So okay, let's go back to the question paper. So that's that file. So open a file to inspect the data. So we just had a look at data. Resave the file as a spreadsheet. Okay, so it's very important when you're saving, we want to save as an Excel workbook. Okay, by saving as an Excel workbook, you'll maintain your formulas and functions if you close down this particular file. So TTS, so what name we're going to use? So TTS merge, yep, and then underscore, center number, underscore your candidate number. So make sure you've selected Excel workbook. Save. Okay. It's very important, any steps we take, we're saving our work. So if you complete a function or a particular part of this Excel task, you're saving, just in case your computer crashes during the exam. Okay, so question 1A. Before I do start, I'm going to locate my evidence and I'm going to open my evidence as well. So the evidence, this is the evidence file here. Okay, so you'll notice the evidence is in rich text format, so RTF, so we have to change that. So before I do anything, let me just insert my name in the header. So by inserting your name in the header, it's going to appear on every single page. I need to spell my name right. Center number 5678 and your candidate number here, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm going to save this also, and you want to save as a Word document. So again, if you go back to the question paper, we have to save using a candidate or center number first, underscore, then a candidate number. So again, using the same method, center number and then underscore candidate number as a Word document. Save. Okay, again, it's very important we're saving each step we take. So let's have a look at question 1A. Insert a row above the data. So just before I start the question, let's go back to the Excel. So this is my Excel. So insert a row above the data. So to insert a row, you need to right click and you need to select insert. Okay. Set the row height to 51 points. So let me just highlight I've done this task here. So the height of this row has to be to 51 points. Okay, so to do this, you need to right click on the number 1, row height, and I'm going to type in 51. Now before I continue, I'm going to evidence this. So this is for question 1A. So I'm going to print screen. If I press OK, you'll notice it's changed. Okay, I'm going to include some additional text in this evidence. So task 1A. So it's very important we evidence each part, so it's clear to the examiner we've completed these sections. Okay, and make sure the evidence is nice and clear. And then what we can do is also just provide a print screen to show the row height has been changed. So the evidence, it won't take you too long to complete the evidence. It's just to make sure we picking up the maximum marks. Okay, you can include some information. Okay, so I'll save that and I'll go back to my Excel and I'll press save again. Right, let's have a look. Merge cells in the columns A to D of this row. Okay, so A to D, so we want to merge, so let's click on this button up here, merge and center. That makes it into one cell. In this merge cell, insert function to display the current date and time. So the function we need to include is equal now. So equal now, and if you click on this, returns the current date and time formatted as a date and time. Just going to close the bracket and you'll see we have the current date and the current time. Okay, so now what we need to do is format the date and time so it's displayed in this particular format here. So we have to display the day in full. Okay, so the actual days of Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. The actual date, so today will be the 13th, the month, the year in full, and then the time. Okay, so let's have a look at this now. So to format the current date and time into this format, we need to use a text function. So what we need to do, if I go to before the equals, if I type in text, because we want to display in a particular format, I'm going to type in equal text. Okay, so it's opened up another bracket. So then what we need to do is, after these brackets here, okay, so what format do we want the text to be shown in? So the first thing we need to show, if I enter, you need to enter speech marks. The first thing we need to show is the day. Okay, so I'm going to do this in sections. So I'm going to enter, and we want the data being shown in full. So I'm going to enter 5 Ds. I'm going to close the speech marks for now and close the bracket. As you can see, if I close this bracket, it's closing the bracket we opened up here. If I press enter, it's going to show today's day, which is Saturday. Okay, so what's the second thing we need to show? We need to show the actual date or the day. So today is the 13th. So if I press space after the 5 Ds and type in 2 Ds for the day, we should see Saturday 13. Yep. Okay, now we want to show the month in full. So for month, we need to type in M's. So if I just type in 2 M's, you'll see what happens. That shows the actual month in digits, so 01, 01 should I say. If I type in 3 M's, it should be in Jan, Feb, MAR for March. Okay, but what we want to show is the month in full, so I'm going to include an additional M. So Saturday 13th of January, so that's the first part completed. And then we have to show the year. Okay, so November and then the year. Okay, so if we go back to here, so again we want the year in 4 characters, so I'm going to press Y 4 times, so 2018. Okay, then we want to show the time, so hours colon minutes. So if I click in the speech marks again, so HH for the hours, colon, and an MM for the minutes. We can include seconds if we wanted to, so colon SS for seconds, but in this example we just need to show the hours and the minutes. Okay, and there we go. So just to confirm, so Tuesday 21st, so yep, got Saturday 13, January as a full word. Yep, so we got a full word, we got the year in 4 characters, and then we got the time. Okay, so let's have a look at the next question. So before I move forward, just let me do a print screen of this format of the data as well. So 1A. I'm going to save. Let me just print screen. So it's good to have this in our evidence as well. One A. Let's include some information, date and time, function. Okay, I'm going to crop this information, and then what we want to do is increase the size, so it's very obvious we can see the correct format has been applied. So again, I'm going to press save here. Let's go back to our question paper. So merge the cells in columns E to I of this row. So if we go back to the question paper, E to I, let's merge this. Okay. Insert your center number and candidate number in this merged cell. So insert your center number and candidate number in the merged cell. 5, 6, 7, 8, comma 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. Display both merged cells in an 18-point sans serif font. So 1, 2. So both of these have to change the size to 18. Okay. Sans serif font. So we're going to choose Arial. And ensure all the data and text is fully visible. Okay, so obviously what that means is we're not cutting off any of the data like this. So let me just go edit, undo, get it back to what it was. Yep, all of the data is fully visible. I'll press save. Okay, save the spreadsheet. Okay, so files, let me double check I did save as a, yep, it was in the correct format, Excel workbook, and using the correct method of saving, so, or the name, so center number and then the candidate number, save. Okay, yeah, let's just replace that. Okay, so let's move on to question 1B. So it has been decided to use a different mail server for the company. All the new addresses will end in @tts.com. Okay, each email address will have a new format. So let me just go back to the Excel. So as you can see, we have email addresses here, but we have to change the format of the email address. So for example, Evie Barber will become e.barber@tts.com. Use formula to replace the address in a file. Ensure they are all lowercase. Okay. Save the spreadsheet. Okay, so I'm going to delete this first of all. And yeah, I might as well get rid of all of this as well, because these email addresses will be replaced. Okay, there we go. So let's go to the top. Just looks a little bit neater now. So what's the first thing we need to use? We need to achieve. So each email address will have a new format. For example, evbarber will become e.barber. So as you can see, we need to use the first character for e. It has to be lowercase, which we'll do later on. And then we have to join it onto the surname Barber. But we need to include a dot here. So full stop. Okay, so equal. What we need to do is join the first character of the first name. So if I do equal left, okay, so I'm going to click on A3. That's the text which contains the name, comma, and I only want to include the first character. So I'm going to type in 1. I'm going to do this one step at a time. So I've got E. At the end, I'll change it to lowercase, but I'm not too concerned about that for now. So now what we need to include is the full stop. So we're going to join full stop. So I'm going to include and, speech marks, full stop, speech marks, and there is no space. Okay, so the next part I need to join is the family name. I'm going to press enter. So we have e.barber, and still, you know, we have obviously the uppercase letters, which we'll address later on. So we've completed the first part. The last part we need to do is basically we need to include this part at tts.com at the end of the email address. So again, we're going to use and in speech marks. Just going to copy and paste that information. So at tts.com, close the speech marks, and if I press enter, you'll see we have the correct email address. Okay, so we've completed this part. So each email address will have a new format. So evbarber will become ebarber@tts.com. Okay, use formula to replace all the addresses. So we're going to replace in a second, but let's now focus on making it lowercase. Okay, so if I go back to here, so at the start, I'm going to type in equal lower. So if I click on this, it converts all the letters in a text string to lowercase. So since it's open a bracket, we have to close the bracket here as well. So enter, and you'll notice it's now gone into the lowercase. So E and the B is lowercase. I'm going to replicate this formula function. I'll drag it down. Okay, and as you can see, we've created email addresses for each individual. Yep, so I've just completed this. I'm going to save the spreadsheet. Save. I'm also just going to do a quick print screen showing the method used. So for 1B, okay, is it still 1B? Let me double check. Yep, 1B. Just going to crop off the part which is not necessary. And then I'm going to increase the size, making it obvious to the examiner to show them the method used in creating the email address. So let me save this. Okay, I'll save this again. Right, let's go to question 1C. So before we move on to question 1C, you will notice already we have some boxes here which we need to complete. Okay, So just before I move forward, let me just type in the title for this, creating email address. So for task 1C, let's have a look. Analyze the method of generating a new email addresses and identify the problem that this method causes. Okay, I'm just going to go up to question 1B again to discuss the problem this may cause using this method. So for the email address, we're using the first character of the first name and then the surname. So the problem we could have is if two people have the same characteristics, so the same surname and the first name starting with the same letter. So imagine Evie Barber, you have Eve Barber. So you got two different names. They would have the same email address. So in the evidence document, so what is the problem? So let's describe the problem. So if we go to my evidence document, the problem is duplicates can be generated. Email addresses be generated. Okay, describe a method to automatically detect this problem. So what can we do to detect this problem? So there is a method. We can use conditional formatting. So if I highlight all of these cells here, okay, so we basically want to identify. I'm going to start again. Let's go all the way up. Okay. So I want to describe a method to automatically detect this problem. So what we can use is conditional formatting. So if we highlight the cells, click on conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, and then I want to select duplicate values. Okay, so you can choose a particular color. Okay, and as you can see, we've got these two which have been highlighted, and as you can see, they've got the same characteristics. Okay, so we've got the first one that's been highlighted, and yeah, we have also a second email address which has been highlighted. Again, they've got the first name starting with H, okay, and they've got the same surname. So if we go back to my evidence document, so describe a method to automatically detect this problem. Okay, so use of conditional formatting to highlight duplicate values. Okay, I'll just press save. Okay, so the next thing is give an example of an email address that is affected. So we just have to give one example. Okay, and we need to place it in here. So we go back to my spreadsheet, and I'm going to take two print screens. So we're going to basically highlight this first row. So print screen, row 13. Crop. Okay, so I'm just going to increase the size so it's obvious we can see. Just going to crop off slightly from the bottom. There we go. And let's get the second print screen. So Roger. Okay, so print screen again. Okay, so we got two examples. of staff members with the same email address. Alright, just going to crop off from the left here slightly. Okay. So suggest a method of correcting this email address. So if we go back to my, so that's the next question. So what can we do to correct this issue? What we can do is manually change the address by adding either a number or letter. Okay, so there's two things you can do really. You can, instead of extracting only the first character, maybe we can extract the first two characters. Or if it's just a one-off, we can just add an additional letter. So what we can do or say is manually changing the address by adding either a letter or number. Okay. So if we go back to here, so what we can do, we can add an additional letter or number. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the first email address. So instead of extracting the first letter, I'm going to extract the first two letters instead, just for this cell here. So I'm going to press enter, so it should be rh.manning. Okay, and as you can see, this record is not being duplicated, or this email address not duplicated. And then I'll go to this one here. This time you can see HA, and HA still will give you the same address. So maybe what we can do is we can actually, if we just did it for this one here, it's not going to make a difference. So this one includes HA, so we extracted the first two letters, and for the second one it just includes H. So if I go back to 13, row 13, suggest a method of correcting this method. So we've just done that. Correct the addresses and save the spreadsheet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my evidence document. So I'm going to place screenshots of the corrected email addresses. So row 13 and 30. Yeah, row 13. Let's just paste that in. Okay, and increase the size so we can see. Let's go to row 30. Okay, this one here. So print screen. This one stayed the same. So we didn't change the second one, we only changed the first one. But as you can see now, there is no duplicate values. Okay, I'm just going to crop this off again, and you should be able to see the difference. Okay. So I'm also going to show the difference between the second email address, which was automatically highlighted using the conditional formatting method. Okay, just go down until I can see it. Okay, so it was this one here. So as you can see, we've got the first two characters extracted. So I'll print screen that again. Crop. If I go up, let's resize. and then let's find the second example. So it was this one here. So as mentioned before, the second email address we don't change, we left as it is. So by changing the first email address, it automatically takes away the duplicate values. So okay, so just before we move forward, so you can see the first email address, we've extracted an additional character from their first name, which means the second email address is no longer a duplicate of the first email address. So as you can see here, the email addresses were duplicated but therefore highlighted. Now obviously they're not duplicated, and now they're not highlighted using a conditional formatting method. Okay, just save this and let's go back to, okay, so I've just basically included in the evidence document screenshots of the corrected email addresses. Okay, so question D, 1D. All staff will have a new payroll number as shown below. So all staff will have a new payroll number shown as below. So let's go back to the Excel. Okay, so as you can see, this cell is blank at the moment. I'm just going to reduce the size. Okay, each staff member will have a new payroll number. So let's have a look. This is an example provided for us, so we need to use these pieces of data. So the name, so first letter of the given name, which will be E, and you'll notice it's capital letters. Okay, first two letters of the family name, so BA, so you'll notice A needs to be in uppercase. Okay, employment number, which will be the first three characters from the left. No, it actually is a complete employment number, as you can see, so 2914. So we just need to add this cell, and so the employment number and a 3-digit branch code. So the branch code is from here. So it's 3 characters from the right hand side. Okay, so just like we did for the date, if I go up to the top of the paper, we're going to do this, and also for the email address which we used, we're going to do it one step at a time. So the same method, we're going to, rather than do it the whole thing, we're going to create each part at a time. So we're going to extract this character first, and then we're going to join it onto the first 2 characters from the left of the family name. So we're going to do one step at a time. So the payroll number is equal, first of all, left returns a specified number of characters from the left of a text string. So what we said is it's the first character on the left. Okay, so comma 1, number of characters. I'm just going to close the bracket for now. Okay, so we got E. So that's the first part done. So we're going to do one step at a time. First 2 letters of the family name. So the family name would be BA. So we got the E. So let's join it onto BA, and I will make it uppercase at the very end. So BA, not DR. So let me just highlight that again. Okay, so BA. So we want to join. So and it's going to be left. So for the text, we select the family name and comma, and we want to include 2 characters from the left, so which is the B and the A. I'm going to press enter. So we got the first part. So now the next part is the employment number. Okay, so which will be the complete cell. So I'm going to join again, so and we want to basically join the full contents of this cell to the payroll number. So we've got EBA 2914. Okay, so now the 3-digit branch code. Okay, so the 3-digit branch code will come from here. Actually, I was looking at the wrong thing before. So the branch code will come from here. So you will notice the branch code is actually in 2 characters. Here we have 3 characters. And here we are only displaying 1 character. So we want to basically display the branch code in 3 characters. Before I go back to the payroll number, the easiest way of doing it, I'm just going to do it here on the side, then I'll delete it and do it as part of that payroll number. So if I use the text function, so if I type in equal text, converts a value to a text in a specific number format. So equal text. So basically we want to take this branch code, and as you can see we want to display it in 3 characters. Okay, so if I press comma, speech marks, 0, 0, 0, close the speech marks, close the bracket, enter, you'll see 0.32. If I was to drag this down, so 49 has got a 0 in front, 3 has got 2 zeros in front. So we need to ensure we're showing the full 3 characters. I'm just going to delete this now, and I'm going to come back to here, and after D3 we want to add, so and. So I'm going to use the text function, so basically it's going to repeat what we've just done, so it converts the value to a text in a specific number format. Okay, I'm going to select the branch code, so it's in G3, I can't click on it but I'll just type it in, G3, comma, and a format we want to include speech marks, close the bracket, and if I press enter, you'll notice I've got the code completed now. Okay, so it matches up, so it includes the branch code, it matches up the payroll number, the last 3 characters are in 3 digits. Okay, so 3-digit branch code, use formula to generate, I've just done that. Okay, so I'm going to come back to the example. So as you can see, it's uppercase, any characters. So before the equal, I'll type in equal upper, so converts a text string to all uppercase letters with a click. So now I need to close a bracket, so we always end with a black bracket, enter, and I've got the payroll number. So let's go back to the Excel. So use a formula to generate the new payroll numbers, so I need to replicate the formula and drag it down. Okay. Save the spreadsheet. Okay, I'm happy with that payroll number. So before I move forward, I want to just include some evidence that I've completed this part of the task. I will be printing off the formulas as well. So task 1D, payroll number. Okay, so basically what I'll do is I'll click on this cell here, actually, and I'll do a print screen. So we want to ensure the examiner can see 100% the method we've used. Okay, I'm just going to make it even obvious. I'm just going to crop this formula out. Let's just Okay, as you can see, these cells have been highlighted in different colors because these are the cells we've used. Okay, and then if we just press enter, I'm going to print screen just a few examples of the payroll number. As you can see, these are the ones which have been created using this method shown above. So let me press save. Okay.